Folks, this week, I've got gas. Okay, so here's a little news story that you may not have heard this week. President Obama wants Congress to quickly pass an unconditioned extension of the federal gasoline tax. I read this article at foxnews.com. This tax is set to expire at the end of this government's fiscal year on September 30th. The tax has been 18.4 cents per gallon since 1993, annually amounting to about $32 billion, which is then given back to the states for road services, repair, etc. Now, some conservatives in Congress think this tax should be cut. And liberals, not a break for big oil, no, that's not what I'm saying, but the states believe that they should be allowed to determine how to best allocate these resources. A few interesting points here, so please stay with me and follow me on down the golden money trail.
Follow the yellow brick road.
Follow the yellow brick road. Follow the yellow brick road.
Those little people make me uneasy, and I make no apologies for it. Okay, one, listen, I'm not a huge fan of oil companies, but you know who I like even less? The federal government! Now, where I was raised in Montreal, we'd often pay over 2 times the price you would pay for gas here in the States at its peak. Gas prices were so high for so long, and people were complaining about the big oil companies that gas stations finally started putting up pie charts to show you where the money actually goes. Those charts looked like this. The government was taking well over a 30% chunk. These charts were a way of gas stations saying, hey, you think we're rolling in the dough? Here you go. You try running an honest profit margin when a third is skimmed off the top. Which brings me to point 2. What does this mean for the consumer? Not only higher gas prices, but more expensive milk, toilet paper, bananas, bottled water, and anything else that would ever have to be transported to our ungrateful selves. It also likely results in higher unemployment because small businesses will tell you that they have to make cutbacks in order to deal with the transportation costs. Folks, these things don't just show up to your house running on magic beans and happy thoughts. Number 3, the term big oil is thrown around so frequently that you actually have people believing that elections are bought and sold by these companies. Again, not a huge fan of them, but if we're being honest, here's a chart showing you the top list of donors from 1989 to 2010. Surprise! Big oil is nowhere to be found, nor the Koch brothers, but at least 10 of the top 15 are union affiliated, and guess where all of their money goes? Which brings me to point number 4. If this bill is not renewed as conservatives would want, not only would it give the states more mobility in allocating resources, but it would allow them to avoid federal regulations requiring them to hire union workers on their highway projects. By that same token, if the status quo remains the same, however, public sector unions will continue to remain employed and enjoy the kind of job security that you and I could only ever dream of having, regardless of job performance. So when you hear of policies like this and people want to tell you that elections are bought and paid for, don't jump the gun and go straight to big oil or big pharma. Think big unions.
Follow, follow